We're skipping Thanksgiving this year, but then I saw photos of my whole family celebrating without me, so I exposed everything on TikTok. Dad's text came in while I was editing a client's logo on Tuesday afternoon. Hey Mija, we're going to skip Thanksgiving this year. Mom's not feeling up to hosting. I actually felt relieved. No walking on eggshells, no pretending everything was fine while Isabella got praised for bringing store-bought rolls I'd secretly hoped someone would ask me to make. I texted back a supportive message about Mom needing rest and went back to work. Thursday evening, my phone buzzed with a Facebook notification. Isabella had tagged our cousin Sophia in photos. My stomach dropped as I scrolled through image after image of our dining room table, set for 8 people, laden with all the traditional dishes. There was Mom, beaming next to a perfectly golden turkey, Dad carving with his special knife, Marcus laughing at something someone said off camera, and there was my bread. The rosemary focaccia recipe I'd perfected over 3 years, the one Mom always asked me to bring because yours is so much better than mine. Isabella had made it, judging by the slightly uneven herbs scattered on top. I counted the place settings twice. 8 chairs, 8 plates, 8 wine glasses. Our immediate family was 6 people. Sophia and her boyfriend made 8. They'd planned this. For weeks, apparently, based on Isabella's story showing her making handmade place cards last Sunday. I screenshot everything before I could stop myself, zooming in on details like some kind of forensic investigator. The centerpiece Isabella had crafted from fall leaves, the good china Mom only used for special occasions. Dad wearing the sweater I'd given him last Christmas. My first instinct was to make excuses for them. Maybe Mom really had been sick earlier and felt better. Maybe they decided last minute to do something small and intimate. Maybe I'd misunderstood Dad's text, but 8 place settings don't happen by accident. You don't accidentally cook for 8 people when your family is 6. You don't accidentally forget to uninvite someone who was never invited in the first place. I called Marcus first. Voicemail. Then Isabella. Straight to voicemail, which meant she'd declined my call. Finally, I tried Mom. Maya, how was your Thanksgiving, honey? The casual tone in her voice made my chest tight. It was fine, Mom. Quiet. How was yours? I thought you weren't feeling well. Oh, you know how it is. I was feeling a little better, so we decided to do something small. Just family. Just family. The words hit like a slap. The photos looked lovely, I managed. A pause. What photos? Isabella posted them on Facebook. Another pause, longer this time. Oh, well, you know how she is with social media. I stared at my laptop screen, the Facebook album still open. 17 photos of their small family gathering. In every single one, there was an empty space where I should have been. I closed my laptop and sat in the silence of my apartment, trying to process what had just happened. But honestly, this wasn't new. This was just the most obvious example of a pattern I'd been ignoring for years. Growing up, I was the responsible one. The one who cooked dinner when Mom worked late, who helped Marcus with homework while Isabella played with friends. I was 8 when I learned to make scrambled eggs because someone had to feed my siblings breakfast. 10 when I started doing laundry because the pile in the hallway was getting embarrassing. Mom always said I was so mature for my age and such a big help. What she meant was that I was convenient, a built-in babysitter and housekeeper who never complained because I thought that's what love looked like. Isabella, 5 years younger, got to be the baby. Her drawings went on the fridge while my report cards got a quick glance and a good job, Mija, before Mom moved on to whatever crisis needed fixing. When Isabella struggled in school, she got a tutor. When I struggled, I got told to figure it out because I was the smart one. The pattern followed us into adulthood. When Isabella needed help with college applications, the whole family rallied around her. When I started my graphic design business 3 years ago, Dad asked if I was sure I didn't want a real job instead. I moved out at 22, thinking distance would help. Instead, it just made me invisible. Family group chats happened without me. Plans got made and I'd hear about them secondhand, if at all. The only time my phone rang was when someone needed something. Mom calling because her computer was acting up. Isabella needing a logo for some project. Marcus asking if I could loan him money he'd never pay back. 6 months ago, I finally started therapy. Dr. Chen helped me recognize that I'd spent my entire life managing everyone else's emotions while completely ignoring my own. She used words like parentification and emotional neglect that made me uncomfortable because they sounded too clinical for what I'd always thought was just normal family stuff. But sitting there Thursday night, staring at photos of a Thanksgiving that happened without me, I couldn't pretend it was normal anymore. This wasn't an oversight or a miscommunication. This was deliberate. My phone buzzed with a text from Isabella. "Hope you had a good Thanksgiving." The casual tone, the heart emoji, the complete lack of acknowledgement that anything was wrong. Like I was supposed to pretend I hadn't seen the evidence of my own exclusion plastered all over social media. For the first time in my life, I didn't text back immediately with something cheerful and understanding. I didn't make it easy for her. I just stared at the message until the screen went dark. My freelance work had been going well lately. Really well, actually. I'd built up a steady client base, and my Instagram was starting to gain traction with the design content I posted. I was making more money than I ever had, finally feeling like I'd found my footing as an adult. But none of that seemed to matter to my family. I was still the same Maya who existed to solve problems and smooth over conflicts, never to be celebrated or included unless they needed something from me. The realization hit me like a physical weight in my chest. I'd been so busy trying to earn their love that I'd never noticed they'd already decided I wasn't worth it. The next morning, I did something I'd never done before. I started documenting everything. Screenshots of the Facebook photos, saved with timestamps. The family group chat where I noticed I'd been removed sometime in the past 2 weeks. Voice memos to myself recording the exact conversations I'd had with each family member because I'd learned in therapy that gaslighting makes you doubt your own memory. I went through Isabella's Instagram stories from the past month. There it was, clear as day, planning posts. A photo of her writing out a grocery list 2 weeks ago. Another of her testing pie recipes. A boomerang of her and Mom shopping for decorations at Target posted 6 days before Dad texted me about canceling. This wasn't spontaneous. This was planned, coordinated, and I was deliberately excluded from all of it. I tried calling Marcus again. This time he answered, but his voice was weird, guarded. "Hey, Maya, what's up?" "I saw the photos from Thanksgiving. I thought you guys canceled." A long pause. "Yeah, well, you know how Mom is. She was feeling better and decided to do something small." "Small? There were 8 people there, Marcus." "Look, I don't know what to tell you. It wasn't my decision." "Whose decision was it?" Another pause. "I gotta go. I'm at work." He hung up before I could respond. Isabella took 2 days to call me back, and when she did, she sounded defensive before I even said anything. "I saw you called a bunch of times. Is everything okay?" "I was wondering about Thanksgiving. The photos looked really nice." "Oh, thanks. Mom decided last minute to do something after all. You know how she gets when she's stressed." "Last minute? Your Instagram shows you planning for weeks." Silence. "Then, Maya, I don't know what you want me to say. It's not like we could have called everyone at the last second." "You could have called me. You always say family stuff stresses you out. We thought you'd prefer to have a quiet day." The gaslighting was so smooth, so practiced, that for a moment I almost believed her. Maybe I had complained about family stress. Maybe I had given them the impression I didn't want to be there. But then I remembered the 8 place settings, the weeks of planning, the fact that they'd invited Sophia and her boyfriend, but not me. "Isabella, I've never missed a family Thanksgiving, not once in 29 years. Well, maybe it's time you started your own traditions." The line went quiet. I could hear her breathing, probably realizing how harsh that sounded. "I didn't mean it like that," she said quickly. "I just meant." "I know what you meant." When Mom finally called 3 days later, her voice had that patronizing tone she used when she thought I was being dramatic. "Isabella said you're upset about Thanksgiving. Honey, you're almost 30. You can't expect us to revolve our plans around you anymore." "I'm not asking you to revolve anything around me. I'm asking why I wasn't invited to a family dinner." "It wasn't a family dinner. It was just a few people getting together." "Mom, I saw the photos. It was literally our entire family plus Sophia and Jake." "Maya, you're being very dramatic about this. We thought you'd enjoy having some time to yourself." There it was, the word I'd been dreading, dramatic. The label they'd always used to shut down any complaint I had, any need I expressed, any time I asked for something they didn't want to give. "I'm not being dramatic. I'm being excluded." "No one excluded you, honey. We just made different plans." After I hung up, I sat in my car in the therapy office parking lot, shaking. Dr. Chen had warned me about this. How families resist change when someone starts setting boundaries, how they'll use guilt and gaslighting to maintain the status quo. But knowing it intellectually and experiencing it were 2 different things. This was my family. The people who were supposed to love me unconditionally. And they were treating me like I was crazy for wanting basic inclusion and respect. That night, I did something I'd never done before. I started writing down my story, not for them, but for me. Just to see it clearly without their interpretations and excuses clouding my judgment. What I wrote shocked me. 29 years of being the family caretaker, problem solver, and emotional manager, with almost nothing in return. 29 years of making myself smaller so everyone else could be comfortable. I was done making myself smaller. Part 4. The viral truth: I'd been on TikTok for months, mostly just scrolling and occasionally posting design tips that got maybe 50 views. But that Sunday night, lying in bed still processing everything, I saw a trending audio about family dynamics. The sound was just someone saying, "POV, you're the family scapegoat," over a melancholy piano melody. Something clicked. I grabbed my phone and started recording. "POV, your family cancels Thanksgiving, then posts photos of their best Thanksgiving ever with the whole family there. Except you." I held up screenshots of the Facebook photos, my face visible in the corner, looking genuinely hurt, featuring my bread recipe and 8 place settings for a family of 6. I almost didn't post it. My finger hovered over the delete button for 10 minutes, but Dr. Chen's voice echoed in my head. "Your truth is valid, Maya. You don't have to protect people who won't protect you." I hit share and went to sleep. I woke up to 847 notifications. The video had 50K views overnight. Comments were pouring in faster than I could read them. "This happened to me too. Golden child syndrome is real. I'm so sorry, you deserve better. Your family is trash, queen." By noon, it had 200K views. By evening, 800K people were stitching it with their own stories, using my audio to talk about their family trauma. The algorithm had grabbed it and wasn't letting go. I made a follow-up video explaining parentification, using trending sounds about oldest daughter syndrome. Another about golden child dynamics, showing old family photos where the favoritism was obvious even to strangers. Each video hit harder than the last. My follower count exploded from 300 to 15K in 3 days. Brands started reaching out about partnerships. Other creators were commenting, sharing their own stories of family dysfunction. But the real impact hit when Isabella's friend Jess sent her my videos. Isabella called me crying. "Maya, what the hell? Everyone's sending me your TikToks. People are recognizing our house in the background of my posts. They're asking if I'm the golden child's sister." "Are you?" "That's not the point. You're putting our family business on the internet for millions of people to see." "Our family business was already on the internet, Isabella. You posted 17 photos of a family dinner I was excluded from. I just added context." "This is different and you know it. Mom's getting messages from people at church. Dad's coworkers are asking him about it. You're humiliating us." The irony wasn't lost on me. They were worried about being humiliated by the truth, but they hadn't worried about humiliating me with their lies. "I'm not using anyone's real names. I'm not sharing personal details. I'm just telling my story. Your story makes us look like monsters. I'm not making you look like anything. I'm showing what happened." She hung up on me. Within a week, my biggest video had 2.3 million views. The comments section had become a support group for people with similar family experiences. I started getting messages from people thanking me for helping them recognize their own situations. "I thought I was crazy for feeling left out. Your videos helped me understand why I always felt like an outsider in my own family. Thank you for showing me I'm not alone." My content creation income was suddenly matching my design work. Brands wanted to partner with me because my engagement was through the roof. People connected with the authenticity, the vulnerability, the way I talked about family trauma without being bitter or vindictive. But the real breakthrough came when I posted a video about healing, about how recognizing the patterns was just the first step, not the destination, about therapy and boundaries and learning to parent yourself. That's when I realized this wasn't just about my family anymore. This was about breaking cycles, about giving people permission to tell their truth, about showing that you can love your family and still hold them accountable. The comments on that video were different, less angry, more hopeful. People sharing their own healing journeys, their small victories in setting boundaries, their moments of choosing themselves for the first time. I was building something bigger than I'd ever imagined. A community of people who understood what it felt like to be the responsible one, the forgotten one, the one who gave everything and got crumbs in return. My family's perfect image was cracking, but something better was growing in its place. My authentic voice, finally free after 29 years of silence. The real chaos started when Mom discovered the videos through Mrs. Garcia from church, who'd recognized our dining room in the background of my content. Mom's Facebook post appeared Tuesday morning. "It's heartbreaking when your own child spreads lies about your family on the internet for attention. Some people will do anything for their 15 minutes of fame, even if it means destroying the people who raised them. Prayers for ungrateful children who bite the hand that feeds them." The post backfired spectacularly. Within hours, it had hundreds of comments, most of them from people who'd seen my videos. "Maybe listen to your daughter instead of dismissing her. This response proves everything she said. The fact that you're calling her ungrateful says everything. Isabella's lifestyle brand took a hit too, her comment sections filled with people asking pointed questions about family dynamics. Is this the golden child sister from TikTok? How does it feel knowing your sister was cooking dinner at 8 while you got to be a kid? Her latest sponsored post about family gratitude got ratioed so hard she had to turn off comments. Marcus called me panicked. Maya, you need to fix this. Mom's crying every day. Dad's barely talking to anyone. The whole family's falling apart. I'm not the one who needs to fix this, Marcus. I didn't create this situation. But you made it public. You could have talked to us privately. I tried talking to you privately. You hung up on me, remember? That's different. This is nuclear. People are taking sides. Cousins are getting involved. Tia Rosa called Mom crying because people are messaging her asking about our family drama. The old Maya would have immediately started apologizing, would have deleted everything to restore peace. But therapy had taught me something crucial. I wasn't responsible for managing everyone else's emotions anymore. Marcus, I shared my experience. If that's causing problems for everyone else, maybe the problem isn't what I said. Maybe it's what actually happened. You're destroying our family. No, I'm revealing what was already broken. Dad's approach was more direct. He called Thursday night, voice tight with anger. Maya, this stops now. You take down those videos and you apologize to your mother. I'm not taking down anything, Dad. Then don't expect any help from us anymore. No more family support, no more safety net. You want to be independent so badly. Fine, you're on your own. I almost laughed. Dad, I've been on my own since I was 22. You haven't supported me financially in 7 years. Silence. He'd forgotten that detail, apparently. That's not the point. Family sticks together. Family doesn't air dirty laundry in public. Family also doesn't exclude each other from Thanksgiving dinner, but here we are. My content was evolving too. I started making videos about the aftermath, about how families react when someone stops playing their assigned role. The guilt trips, the threats, the way they try to make you responsible for their emotions. Each video resonated with thousands of people going through similar situations. My follower count hit 50K, then 75K brands were offering serious partnership deals. I was making more money than I ever had, and it was all from finally telling my truth. But the breakthrough moment came when Isabella showed up at my apartment unannounced, looking exhausted and smaller than I'd seen her in years. "Can we talk?" she asked. "Really talk, not just fight?" I let her in, and for the first time in our adult lives, we had an honest conversation. "I knew," she said quietly, "about the favoritism, about how different they treated us. I was scared that if I said anything, I'd lose what I had. So you let me lose everything instead? I didn't think about it like that. I just thought. You were stronger. You could handle it. You always handled everything." "I was 8 years old when I started handling everything, Isabella. I was a child too." She cried then, really cried. I know that now. Watching your videos, seeing how other people reacted. I realized how messed up it all was, but I didn't know how to change it without losing my place in the family. And now I'm realizing that maybe my place in this family isn't worth keeping if it means you don't have one at all. It wasn't a complete resolution, but it was a start. The first honest conversation we'd had in years, maybe ever. The videos kept growing. My story had touched something universal about family dynamics, about the roles we're assigned, and the courage it takes to break free from them. But more importantly, I was finally free to be myself. Not the family caretaker, not the responsible one, not the one who made everything easier for everyone else. Just Maya, and for the first time in my life, that felt like enough. 3 weeks after Isabella's visit, I got a group text from Dad. "Family meeting, Sunday 2 p.m., Rose's restaurant. We need to settle this." I agreed, but with conditions. "I'll be there for 1 hour. I'm bringing my friend Jess for support. We're meeting in public, and if anyone raises their voice or gets abusive, I'm leaving." They were already there when I arrived. Mom looked smaller somehow, her usual confidence replaced with something brittle. Dad sat rigid, arms crossed. Marcus avoided eye contact. Isabella offered a tentative smile. 1 hour, I said, sitting down. Mom started immediately. "Maya, this has gone too far. You've embarrassed our entire family. You need to take them down." "I'm not taking them down, Mom. After everything we've done for you, what exactly have you done for me?" "Because I've been taking care of this family since I was 8 years old, and the one time I asked for basic inclusion, you excluded me and lied about it." Dad leaned forward. "We never asked you to take care of anyone." "I was a child, Dad. Children do what they think will make their parents love them." Isabella spoke up. "I told them about our conversation, about how I knew things were unfair." Marcus finally looked up. "We all knew. I just didn't know how to fix it. So you all knew I was being treated differently and nobody said anything?" Silence. Mom's composure cracked. "I don't know how to do this, Maya. I don't know how to be the mother you needed." It was the closest thing to an acknowledgement I'd ever gotten, but it wasn't enough. Your best included lying to me about Thanksgiving. Your best included making me feel crazy for wanting to be included. Dad tried a different approach. What do you want from us? I want you to acknowledge what happened. I want you to stop gaslighting me. I want to be included in family decisions, and I want you to understand that I'm not responsible for managing everyone else's emotions anymore. And the videos? Mom asked. The videos stay up. They're my story to tell. The conversation went in circles, Mom alternating between guilt trips and confusion. Dad struggling with boundaries, but Isabella surprised me. I want to do better, she said. I'm starting therapy next week. When my hour was up, I stood to leave. That's it, Mom asked. You're just going to walk away. I'm not walking away from the family, Mom. I'm walking away from the dysfunction. If you want a relationship with me, it's going to have to be a healthy one. I left them sitting there, probably talking about me. But for the first time in my life, I didn't care what they were saying. 6 months later, my life looks completely different, but not in the perfect way you might expect. My TikTok following hit 200K, and content creation has replaced my design work entirely. I speak at events about family trauma, helping others recognize patterns I spent decades ignoring. My biggest professional success came from finally refusing to make my family comfortable. Isabella and I text regularly now. She's been in therapy for 4 months, slowly recognizing how family dynamics shaped us both. She publicly acknowledged the favoritism, which cost followers but gained respect. We're building something new, carefully. Marcus calls occasionally when struggling with his own family role. Mom sends articles about healing that miss the point. Dad asks about work sometimes. They've stopped demanding I take down the videos, which feels like progress. But there's been no real apology, no genuine accountability, just grudging acceptance that I have boundaries now. I spent Christmas with friends this year. Friendsgiving, Friendsmas, surrounded by people who choose to be there. It felt revolutionary, choosing joy over obligation. There are setbacks, days when guilt creeps in when I wonder if I'm too harsh. Moments when I catch myself falling into old patterns trying to manage everyone's emotions, but therapy helps. My chosen family helps. The community I've built online helps. Thousands sharing their stories, supporting each other through breaking generational cycles. Last week, a 19-year-old messaged saying my videos helped her recognize she didn't have to be her family's emotional caretaker. She set boundaries and started focusing on her own goals. That's when I knew this was worth it. Not just for me, but for everyone told they're too sensitive for wanting basic respect from family. My phone buzzes with texts. Isabella, proud of you for choosing yourself. Marcus, maybe I should try therapy too. Mom, I don't understand everything, but I can see you're happier. It's not the family I grew up wanting. It's not perfect reconciliation, but it's honest, real, and for the first time, I'm not trying to be anyone other than exactly who I am. Another notification pops up. Probably another family crisis, another attempt to pull me back into old dynamics. But I'm editing a video about choosing peace over chaos, about the difference between being selfish and having self-respect. The notification can wait. I've learned the most important lesson. I can love my family and still choose myself. I can honor where I came from while refusing to stay trapped there. And that's exactly what I'm going to keep doing.